When you submit a set of plans to the building department to get a permit, one of the things you have to include in that set of plans is a site plan. And that is a drawing of the piece of land on which you're going to build your house. So there are several things that you have to put on your site plan, and I'm going to show you a list at the end of this lecture. Basic idea is you need to show existing conditions, so what's there now, and proposed construction, what are you proposing to build. A word about stormwater. Rain that falls from the sky is called stormwater. It's just rain that runs off the land. And the law says when you build a house on a piece of land, you cannot change the way the stormwater runs onto adjoining properties. So you might decide you're going to come in here with some excavation and you're going to change the shape of the ground. That's fine, but you cannot cause water to run onto the property next door. Therefore, when you submit your site plan, you have to show them topo lines, topography lines. That's what these curvy lines are. And you have to show them two things. You have to show them existing contours, existing topography, and you have to show them where the excavation is going to go. So here are the dashed lines, existing, solid lines, proposed, so that the plans examiner can determine whether you are going to be directing water onto the property next door. And if you are, then you're going to have to change something. Here's a list of the things that you typically see in a site plan. So you need all the legal stuff. How big, what angle, where's the legal boundary points, how far away from the edge are you, where's the other stuff like utilities and roads, what's the topography and the drainage, and then trees. You need to show where the trees are, if they're existing trees over a certain size, and where you're proposing to build trees. You start with the property line, so you have to show that with the surveyor's units. And you also have to show where are any roads and sidewalks, and also where are any easements. An easement is a legal access that the utilities have to your property, and you can get that from the county tax lot, I think. The easement, you might have trees or patios where the easement is, but if the utility needs to come in and tear up the ground because there's some kind of problem underneath, they have the legal right to do that. So you have to show where those easements go. You have to show where any new features are that you're proposing to build. And you have to locate them with dimensions. And one reason for that is that there are setback laws. You cannot just build your house right on your neighbor's fence. That's illegal. I think in Eugene the setback is a minimum of 5 feet. This house is just a bit more. So you have to show them what your setback will be in your drawing. Here's a drawing from our book. Kind of goofy looking, but there it is. You can see down here, here's the legal description, section, township, range, which primary meridian it comes off of, and so forth. This list is from the city of Eugene. This is a document that you have in your lectures folder that lists the requirements for residential projects. And City of Springfield and Lane County have similar documents. I'm just using this for an example. So this lists what you have to have on your site plan. Ooh, look, very first thing is north arrow. Then you need all the legal description stuff, dimensions, the setback to the property line and the distance between structures, where's all the paving, the driveways, the sidewalks, the curb cuts, if any, where are the fences, streets and alleys. Then if it's a sloping lot, you have to give site elevations and topo lines, contour lines. And in the city of Eugene, there's a solar setback requirement. So if your neighbor were using solar panels on their roof to generate electricity, you are not allowed to come in and build a big old tall house to the south of them that blocks the sun. Well, even if they don't have a solar panel, you still can't do that. So you have to watch for that. You have to describe how you're going to handle the stormwater drainage. And, at least in the city of Eugene, there are laws about trees. So you have to identify any existing trees that are more than a certain diameter. The tree trunk is more than a certain diameter. And you have to identify which trees you're planning to remove, because if you plan to remove more than a certain number, you're going to need a permit. The city of Eugene has tried to deal with the denuding of some of our forested places in the city. I've been part of some of those fights. And so you can't just come in and chop down every tree. You need a plan and a permit. And then you need to show easements. Here is the city's sample for what a site plan could look like. Again, they're using that weird square instead of the bubble, and they're saying not to scale instead of giving a scale. So try to ignore those and look at the rest of it, and you can see everything they're including. Notice that the boundary line is a thick line. Notice they give the setbacks, they show the existing features, the proposed new features. Here are the topo lines. Here's the street and the sidewalk. There's a north arrow. It's got it all.